What's up everyone, Daniel Yuck here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate you. In today's video, we're going to be diving in and I'm going to be sharing with you all how to go about converting an image into a tattooable tattoo stencil. Should you have any questions at any point throughout this video, I'm going to encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. If you find this video helpful or enjoy my YouTube channel, consider becoming a Patreon or purchasing a super thanks down below. I would truly appreciate your support. I also have social medias under the same name as this YouTube channel. Be sure to follow me on there as well, as I would also appreciate that support. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive straight on into this. Before I proceed and show you all how I go about converting images into tattooable tattoo stencils, I want to say that this method may be for some and may not be for everyone, and that's okay. It's going to be to each their own type of thing. Every artist is different and their approach on how they get their tattoo done is different, but for me, I wanted to share with you all this information as I feel a lot of people can go ahead and benefit from something like this. So taking it from the top here, all I've done is I've picked out an image, I've imported it into Procreate on a layer, and I just removed the background. That is all that we've done so far. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to begin the process. What I need to do is I need to make this into a black and white image. So where I'm going to begin is I'm going to I'm going to duplicate that layer, as you can see. And then from here, I'm going to use this tool on the duplicated layer. And I'm going to go to Hue, Saturation, and Brightness. I'm going to take Saturation down, and what that's doing is it's making the image black and white, as we can see. So now that we got the image black and white, we're going to go ahead and navigate back, and we're going to duplicate that layer. So now we have 3 total. We have the original, the one that we turned black and white. Now we have the duplicate. On the duplicate, we're going to go ahead and select the N right here. It brings up this menu. I'm going to navigate on over to Color Dodge. What Color Dodge does is it's a highlight tool and it sharpens the image. So that is what we're doing with the Color Dodge feature. From here, we're going to want to invert it. So I'm going to go ahead and head back over here. I'm just going to select on this area of the layer, bringing up this menu, and I'm going to hit invert. And as you can see, we have a completely white image now. From here, we're going to want to use a blending tool called Gaussian Blur. And what that does is it essentially blends the image and it softens it as well. Not only that, as we take up the blur, you're going to see that it's also making the top image right here, this image, more transparent. So allow me to demonstrate. So I'm going to navigate to this tool again, as we did earlier. But I'm going to navigate to Gaussian Blur right here. I'm just simply going to put my finger down. As you can see, we're starting to get different values. As we layered those two black and white images, and now that we're using the Gaussian Blur, what's happening is we're bringing out the darker values from below. And that's what you're seeing right here with the Gaussian Blur tool. So the higher we bring it, the more transparent the top layer becomes, as you can see. So the more that we do it, the values that are below are coming out. So from here, what we're going to want to do is we're simply going to want to find the areas that we're comfortable with. This is kind of going to be subjective. I don't think the exact values or percentages here that I'm using are going to be precise for every single design. We're going to have to kind of eyeball that accordingly. But for me, I want to get some of the darks in there, so that way I know where to place the blacks. As you can see, we even have lighter gray tones right here going on as well. The more Gaussian blur that is here, the more transparent the image is. So if we put it all the way up to 100, the image is fully transparent. If we bring it down, you can see how it's bringing out the values accordingly. So somewhere around here, I think, is a good place to kind of land on, maybe 14 through. It depends on how dark you need your areas. So for me, I'm probably going to do it around there, 20ish give or take, and that looks like a solid tattoo stencil right there. And then from here, what you can do is merge those two together, and then you have your design right here. So now you have 2 layers, the original and the new tattoo design. Let's say for whatever reason we needed this to be a bit more black, we needed darker values. There's also a way to go ahead and do that to make the blacks more blacker. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm on the layer of the tiger, as you can see. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the curves tool this time. So you can see we're still in the adjustments tool right here. And I'm going to go ahead and select curves. And then from here, you're going to want to make sure that you're on gamma, as you can see. And then you could adjust this as needed right here. So you can see by using this, it really brings out some more blacks there. And this is all subjective, use as needed. So for me, I don't want them too black, but it'd be nice to bring them out just a little bit. So somewhere around here would be good and sufficient for this specific design. And that is a way to go about making the blacks there more darker if needed. Let's repeat this process again with another image, and I'm going to show you that we can do it with anything that we essentially throw at it. So I'm going to go ahead and mute this group, as that's the first one that we did, starting all over from the top. So here is our image. All I've done was remove the background, all the grass and everything. I didn't want to make a busy stencil. So I'm going to leave the original alone. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. We need to make it black and white. To do that, I'm going to go back up to the adjustments tool. I'm going to select the first option, which is hue, saturation, and brightness. I'm going to focus on the saturation tool, bringing that all the way down to the left. As you can see now, we're presented with this black and gray image right here. So from here, I need to sharpen up the image, but to do that, I'm going to need to make a duplicate layer. The reason that I'm making a duplicate layer is because when we start implementing the Gaussian blur back in, the layer is going to be transparent. So we don't want the original color showing up through. We want that black and white showing up through to reach the darkest points. So we're going to hit that duplicate. Now we have another layer. So there's 3 layers total: the original, the one that we turned black and white, and now we have the duplicate. On the duplicate, we're going to go ahead and navigate to the end. Switch on over to color dodge, and again, as you can see, it's sharpening up the image there. I'm going to select this area on that layer to bring up this pop-up menu. I'm going to select invert. So inverting makes the image negative, and then from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Gaussian blur tool again right here. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to implement or input as much of the darks that I need. And as you can see, again, the more Gaussian blur that I'm adding, the more the original design comes through, which is why we want to layer and have that black and white under. So I'm going to kind of put this maybe around, everything is a little bit different, so probably around here. I'm going to go a little bit higher on this one right here. From here, what I can do is and you can see that this layer is actually blurred right here, so we are bringing out the values from the one below. I'm going to merge those 2 layers like so, and then from here I'm going to head on over back to the adjustments tool. I'm going to head over to curves, make sure that you're on gamma, and then I'm going to bring out some of those darks just a little bit more, so you can kind of get an idea of how dark we can actually bring out the darks there. Don't want to bring them out too much. So right around there seems about appropriate, something like that. And again, this is all going to be fully subjective, to each their own. For those that are curious on what these stencils look like after print, this is what they look like. These are the final results. As you can see, all the dark areas is where we're going to be placing in majority of the black. It actually captures some good details there as well on the tongue. So this right here is a completely tattooable stencil. This is a perfect tattoo stencil. This one as well over here. We have details on the nose, as you can see. And everything is there ready to be inputted. So from here, what I would do is just apply this to the client, allow it to dry as long as I can, and then go ahead and begin to tattoo. So you can see right here that the stencil is already starting to come out, and this is a thermal printer. We are going to get a little bit different results that we would have gotten versus an inkjet printer, and I'm actually going to show you side-by-side comparison here, but I can still show you here and prove the point that we can still get a completely 110% tattooable stencil using this approach. And these are the results right here. So here I have 2 different prints. I have a thermal print and I have an inkjet print. They are the exact same design, the exact same size. They are just printed differently. And again, this one's going to be the thermal. This one is going to be the inkjet printer. And you can see that there are some variances. Obviously, the inkjet printer is going to capture more tones and detail versus the thermal. However, in my opinion, these are still completely workable. These are 110% tattooable. I just wanted to take some time and actually show you all as well the differences between a thermal and an inkjet print here. I will go ahead and make another full in-depth video on inkjet versus thermal printer, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stick around for that. That is how I go about converting an image into a tattooable tattoo stencil. The process is rather straightforward, especially when you start understanding what's happening and what the features are doing and how they're working together. It all starts making sense. Now, if you have any questions, I encourage you to drop a comment down below, and I'm going to do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. If you found this video helpful and enjoy my content, consider becoming a Patreon and or purchasing a Super Thanks down below. I would truly appreciate your support. I have social medias under the same name as this YouTube channel. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I would also appreciate the support on there as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me and ring that bell, as I will be bringing more videos like this for you all. Thank you for tuning in yet again. You have a great day.